Murder accused Joanne Swartbooi will be back in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court today.
So Swartbooi is accused of killing her boyfriend and the father of her 3 children in November of 2021. She's denied the allegations against her. Our reporter Tshegohaco Moagi joins us now live from court ahead of that appearance. Tshegohaco, perhaps let's begin with an update of what we can expect today.
Well, good morning, Michelle. So what we can expect in court today is the issue around the DNA evidence. You'd remember that in the previous appearance, in Joanne Swartboi's previous appearance, the issue of the DNA, where it was necessarily found, where Timothy Swartboi's body was allegedly thrown, that DNA is still being processed to see if the bone fragment that they actually found away from the crime scene, if that belongs to Timothy Swartbooi. So we are expecting to hear how far the process is when it comes to that DNA evidence. But just to remind our viewers, Michelle, about what has taken place here. You'd remember that we had come to court initially because Joanne Swartbooi is accused of murdering her boyfriend, Timothy Jacobs, and the father of her 3 children. We understand that she allegedly hit him with a baseball bat, and then she burnt him. So that is the fragment that I'm speaking about, the bone fragment, because from what we have heard in court, there was very little that was left of Timothy Jacobs after Joanne Swartbooi burnt him. And we understand that this took place in November, and the family had, consistently wanting to know where Timothy was, and they actually went to her at some point because they lived together. The family asking her, where is Timothy Jacobs? And she continuously said that he'd either gone to work or he was just not in the house, until one day they then decided that they're going to open a missing case. And she then told the police, we understand, on the scene at the time, she then told the police that, she did kill Timothy, and this is where she burnt him, and this is where the ashes were then thrown. And that's where the police went to try and find anything that they could that could be a remainder of Timothy Jacobs' body. The family has also told us, the Jacobs family has told us as well, that she burnt everything. So she burnt everything that belonged to Timothy, so leaving nothing for them to hold on to. Timothy Jacobs' mother has often said to us right here at Newzroom Afrika that, she just hopes that she could have just held her child and buried her child, and they have still not been able to get that closure because of that DNA evidence that is currently still being processed. So we could hear more from the investigating officer about where they are now in that processing of that DNA evidence and what they found on the scene at the time, and what the way forward then could be, whether it will be postponed. Once again, we've seen numerous postponements with this particular case, and we'll then wait to see whether it will be postponed again. Joanne had applied for bail, Michelle, and that has been denied. The IO at the time during the bail application saying that he's concerned about her safety, and that is why that was one of the reasons why it was denied at the time. The magistrate saying that her concern is that Joanne Swartbooi, she's given an address of her mother who lives in the Eastern Cape, and so the concern would then be, would she be able to still come to court when she is needed to be in court, and that's why bail was then denied. The 3 children are currently living with their maternal grandmother, Timothy Jacobs' mother, and that is they're living with her at the moment. We understand that they were in the house at the time when this incident took place, so you can imagine also the trauma that they may have witnessed. But from what I've heard from the family, they are currently going counseling, those 3 children going into counseling, but also they are trying to get them back into the schooling system. So Joanne Swartbooi is expected to be back in the dock this morning, and we'll hear more about how this trial or this case will actually unfold.
Well, very, very quickly for us, do we know anything by way of motive as yet?
We don't know at this moment the motive behind this brutal murder that was committed allegedly by Joanne Swartbooi, and it's things like that we are still waiting to hear. I mean, I remember even in her affidavit, she did not give a reason or an explanation as to why she allegedly killed Timothy Swartbooi. She did, of course, plead guilty during her bail application. So no motive as yet, but hopefully those kind of things, Michelle, will definitely unfold as this case continues.
Tshegohaco Moagi, thanks very much indeed for that update. Live to us there from the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court.